Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is a crazy Thursday here and my coffee is already cold, but we need to talk about the absolute madness that just went down on the Bold and the Beautiful. Grab a snack because this one is a wild ride and I have a lot of thoughts. So let's just dive right into it because my head is absolutely spinning from everything that just happened. And honestly, we all knew this was coming. We all knew that the massive, suffocating mountain of secrets over at Logan was going to explode and take down innocent bystanders. But I don't think any of us expected it to get this messy, this public, and this violent so fast. I mean, we are talking about a full-blown physical brawl on the beach and a public humiliation in the middle of the Forrester Creations office. It is pure soap opera gold, but it is also so frustrating because it all could have been avoided. Let's start with the absolute disaster in the office. So a few episodes ago, we saw the tension building up. Katie Logan Spencer, in all her infinite wisdom, swore her son Will to absolute secrecy about Hope moving her line over to Logan. And I just have to stop right here and ask, what kind of mother does this? What kind of mother forces her own son to lie to his girlfriend, especially when that girlfriend is a Forrester and he works in the Forrester building? It was a ticking time bomb. Will has been walking around looking like he's about to have a panic attack for days. And Melissa Dillon has been right there with him, carrying the exact same heavy, miserable secret. And Melissa is already in such a weird, awkward spot. She is working directly under Electra Forrester now. Electra is her boss. And Melissa is secretly hooking up with RJ Forrester on the side, having these passionate nights at his beach house, while trying to pretend everything is normal at work. It's too much pressure for one assistant. So, of course, the pressure finally cracked her. Will and Melissa were in a closed office together, and they were arguing. Well, maybe not arguing like fighting, but having a really intense, panicked, heated discussion about Hope's secret. Melissa was freaking out. She was terrified that the truth was going to come out and she was going to lose her job, lose RJ, lose everything. And Will, because he is generally a good guy who cares about his friends, could see that she was spiraling. So he did what any comforting friend would do. He reached out and he grabbed her hand. He was just holding her hand to steady her, to tell her to breathe, to promise her that they were going to get through this insane corporate espionage nightmare together. But this is the Bold and the Beautiful. Nobody locks a door, ever. I swear, the concept of a lock does not exist in the Forrester Creations building. So the door swings open, and who is standing there? Electra. Of course it's Electra. And you guys, the look on her face. It was just pure devastation mixed with immediate, blinding rage. Because from her perspective, what does she see? She sees her boyfriend, who has been acting incredibly shady and guilty for weeks, locked in a private office, holding hands and whispering intimately with another woman. And not just any woman, but Melissa, the girl who has a history with the family and who Electra already suspected of acting weird. Electra's intuition had been screaming at her that something was wrong, and in that split second, she believed her worst fears were confirmed. She thought they were having an affair. And honestly, can you blame her? Okay, maybe I'm being too harsh on Will, but if you walk into a room and your boyfriend is clutching another girl's hand behind closed doors looking guilty as sin, you are going to jump to conclusions. But Electra didn't just jump. She leapt out of an airplane without a parachute. She didn't even give Will a single second to explain. She just lost it. And she didn't just yell at them in the privacy of that office. Oh no, Electra dragged this right out into the open. She publicly humiliated Melissa right there in the middle of the company. She was screaming, calling her out, basically branding her a homewrecker in front of anyone who was within earshot. It was brutal. It was one of those scenes where you are watching through your fingers because the secondhand embarrassment is so physically painful. Melissa just stood there, completely frozen. She was taking all of this vicious verbal abuse from Electra, and she couldn't say a single word to defend herself, because what could she say? Oh, we aren't sleeping together. We are just conspiring to help Hope Logan destroy your family's fashion empire. Yeah, that would go over real well, so Melissa just had to swallow it. She had to stand there and let Electra humiliate her, all to protect Hope and Katie's stupid business secret. It honestly broke my heart a little bit for her. Melissa always seems to get the short end of the stick, doesn't she? And then Electra turned her fury on Will. She dumped him right there on the spot. She declared that they were completely, 100% done, finished, over. Will was backed completely into a corner. You could see the sheer panic and desperation in his eyes. He loves Electra. He just fought so hard to get her back at the Bikini Bar summer soiree. He literally begged her to give him another chance, and now it was all crumbling to dust right in front of his face. And the worst part is, he had the truth right there on the tip of his tongue. He could have just blurted out the truth about Hope and the Logan fashion house, and it would have cleared him and Melissa of the cheating accusations instantly, but he didn't. He kept his promise to his mom. He protected Katie's secret, and it cost him the woman he loves. I really hope Katie feels terrible when she finds out what her little NDA did to her son's life. But let's be real, it's Katie. She probably just justify it by saying business is business. But wait, because the drama does not stop there, not even close. Because word travels fast at Forrester Creations, and it didn't take long for the news of this explosive breakup and the supposed affair to reach RJ Forrester. And RJ, oh boy, RJ went completely off the deep end. Remember, RJ and Melissa have been getting really close. They just shared that magical, passionate night at his new beach house. RJ is catching real feelings for Melissa. He thinks they are building something special, something exclusive. So when he hears the rumor that Will Spencer was caught holding hands and intimately whispering with Melissa, RJ's brain just short-circuits. RJ didn't think, oh, maybe there's a misunderstanding. No, RJ immediately assumed the absolute worst. He thought Will was a massive player. He thought Will was stringing Electra along, pretending to be the devoted boyfriend, while simultaneously hooking up with Melissa behind everyone's back. RJ felt like Will was disrespecting Electra, who RJ still cares about deep down, and completely playing Melissa, who RJ is currently falling for. RJ's white knight syndrome kicked into maximum overdrive. He was seeing red. He felt like he had to defend the honor of both of these women against the evil, manipulative Spencer boy. So RJ tracks Will down. And where does he find him? Down at the beach. Probably brooding, staring out at the ocean, wondering how his entire life fell apart in the span of 10 minutes. And RJ just marches right up to him. He doesn't ask for an explanation. He doesn't say, hey man, what really happened in that office? He just starts swinging. It was a full-on, violent physical clash. We are talking fists flying, sand kicking up, grabbing each other by the shirts. It was brutal. It wasn't just a little shoving match. It was a real fight. And honestly, it felt like decades of Forrester versus Spencer history bubbling up to the surface in that one moment. Think about it. How many times did Ridge Forrester and Bill Spencer circle each other, threatening each other, fighting over Brooke, fighting over business, fighting over pride? And now here we are, the next generation. Ridge's son and Bill's son literally beating the living daylights out of each other on the sand. It was like poetry, really violent, messy poetry. Will fought back, of course. He's a Spencer. He's not just going to take a beating. But you could tell Will was fighting from a place of pure, exhausted frustration. He was angry at RJ for assuming the worst. He was angry at Electra for not trusting him. But mostly, I think he was angry at himself and his mother for letting this stupid fashion secret ruin his life. RJ was fighting on pure adrenaline and misguided righteous fury. He was throwing punches for Melissa, trying to punish Will for breaking her heart, completely unaware that Will hadn't touched Melissa romantically at all. It is the ultimate tragic misunderstanding. And I just keep thinking about how this is going to ripple out through the rest of the canvas. Because a physical fight between RJ and Will is not something that can just be swept under the rug. People are going to see the bruises. People are going to ask questions. When Ridge finds out that his son was in a fist fight with Bill Spencer's kid, he is going to lose his mind. Ridge already wanted Will terminated from the company orbit just because RJ asked for it a few days ago. Now, Ridge is going to go on a warpath, and Bill. Bill Spencer is not going to sit back and let a Forrester put hands on his son. Bill is already plotting to destroy Forrester Creations with the hope for the future diamond. This physical altercation is just going to throw gasoline on a fire that is already burning out of control. And what about Melissa? When she finds out that RJ fought Will over her, what is she going to do? She's going to feel so incredibly guilty. She knows the truth. She knows Will is innocent. But if she tells RJ the truth to stop the fighting, she betrays Hope and Katie. She is trapped in the exact same impossible corner that Will is in. I honestly don't know how they write themselves out of this one without the secret coming out. The pressure is too high. The stakes are too personal now. It's not just about dresses and runway shows anymore. It's about broken hearts, public humiliation, and actual physical violence. And I have to say, part of me is really mad at Electra. I know, she was triggered. But she claimed she loved Will. She claimed they were going to have a fresh start. And the second things looked bad, she didn't even ask him for his side of the story. She just went straight to the nuclear option. It shows a massive lack of trust in their relationship. If your foundation is that weak, maybe you shouldn't be together in the first place. Okay, maybe that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. If you really love someone, you at least let them speak before you scream at them in front of the entire office. And RJ, I love the kid, I really do, but he needs to stop trying to be the hero in every situation. He jumped to a massive conclusion and used his fists instead of his words. He thinks he's defending Melissa, but all he's really doing is making the situation 10 times more complicated. Because now, when the truth finally does come out, and it will, it always does. RJ is going to look like an absolute fool. He beat up a guy for comforting a friend. That is going to be a really, really tough pill for RJ to swallow. But man, the drama is just so good right now. The writers have really woven this tangled web, and watching the characters trip all over it is fascinating. The fallout from this beach fight is going to dominate the next few weeks. I can feel it. We still have to see how Hope reacts when she realizes her secret caused a literal bloodbath between her brother RJ and her sort of stepbrother Will. Hope has been so focused on her designs and her deadline at Logan that she hasn't realized the human cost of what she's doing. This might be the wake-up call she needs to finally come clean to Brooke and Steffy. Anyway, I am exhausted just talking about it. This show is taking years off my life, I swear, but I wouldn't miss a single second of it. What do you guys think? Are you Team Electra for dumping Will, or do you think she overreacted? And who do you think won the fight on the beach, RJ or Will? Let me know, because I need to talk to people who understand this crazy obsession. I'll be watching the next episode with a giant glass of wine, waiting for the rest of the Forrester family to find out about this mess.